Okay there, sir. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Could you state your full name and date of birth for the record?
Austin Thomas Houston.
This is People of the State of Michigan versus Austin Thomas Houston, case number 21-0159-SM. Attorney Rowe, could you place your appearance on the record?
Your Honor, Austin R. Rowe making a limited appearance for Mr. Houston for purposes of arraignment. Mr. Houston and I have discussed his charges. He wants a reading of the charges. We've also discussed his rights. He waives advisement of rights.
Okay. Mr. Houston, then just reading the charge to you, it is alleged that about. And Mr. Houston, I'm going to mute you on your end. You're going to be able to hear me, but it should take out that feedback. So I'll bring you right back on in a second. But okay, can you nod if you can still hear me? Okay. All right, so it is alleged that on or about March 2nd, 2021, in the city of Clare, county of Clare, Michigan, domestic violence is what's alleged under count number 1, that you did make an assault or an assault and battery upon Ashley Lindsay, a resident or former resident of his household, an individual with whom he had a child in common, and an individual with whom he had a dating relationship, contrary to Michigan law. It's a misdemeanor in the state of Michigan. It's punishable by 93 days in the county jail and or a $500 fine plus cost. Consecutive sentence may be imposed under Michigan law if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. Okay, there you go. Could you understand count number 1 in the maximum possible penalty?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then I know Mr. Rowe already went through your rights with you. The one right that we do need to discuss is your right to an attorney. You can always retain your own, ask the court to appoint one for you, or represent yourself. How would you like to proceed as far as attorney is concerned?
Court appointed.
Okay, I have read through your request for court-appointed attorney. I am going to find you eligible. I'm signing the request right now. One will be appointed to you here momentarily. The court will enter not guilty pleas on your behalf. Case will proceed on to what's called a pretrial conference. So we'll send over notification of that court date along with your request for court-appointed attorney information and a copy of your bond form. That would take us to bond if you'd like to address it, Attorney Rowe.
Your Honor, Mr. Houston asked the court to set his bond as a personal recognizance bond for a bond no higher than $2,000, 10%. Mr. Houston has lived in Clare County his whole life. That's about 20 years now. He has his brothers, a mother, and his father who lives in Clare County. He says he's never missed a hearing before. There's a COVID-19 concern in the Clare County jail. And furthermore, he's presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. So for those reasons, Mr. Houston asked the courts to set his bond as a personal recognizance bond or a bond no higher than $2,000, 10%.
Thank you, Mr. Rowe. Mr. Houston, you will receive a copy of this bond form. Make sure that you read through it and that you understand it. You will be subject to all of the normal bond conditions. In addition to that, based on what you're charged with, you cannot possess or purchase a firearm or other dangerous weapon, no assaultive behavior. You cannot have any contact by any means with Ashley Lindsay. Cannot be at her residence or place of employment. Specifically, you cannot be at 108 East 7th Street in Clare, Michigan. Any questions about those conditions?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do you understand those conditions?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do you have any questions about them?
Yes, sir.
You do have questions? Okay,
yeah,
go ahead.
Just, we have a son together, so how am I supposed to see my son? I don't know how that's supposed to work. My mom go pick up my kid and then bring him to me, or?
Yeah, so I'm not placing any no contact order with your son. So you're allowed to see your son, but you can't contact her. So potentially you've got to work it through a third party. But you've got to be careful there, though, too, because you can't be telling your mom to tell her something on your behalf. You can't, you can't call her, you can't email her, you can't text her, you can't have any contact by any means. So you're going to have an attorney that's appointed today. If you're unable to post your bond, they'll have contact with you within 3 business days. Otherwise, once you get out, I'd immediately call them, and then I'd follow their instructions. But again, I'm not putting any sort of no contact order with your son, so you can have contact with him. You just got to be careful about how you do it.
Okay. Okay. That's
Okay.
all.
So just be careful. Don't have any contact with her by any means. So I have to take a lot of different things into account when setting a bond. Prior criminal history is one of them. Everything stated on the record by Attorney Rowe. What's alleged in the underlying offense. Also, the prosecutor's office has submitted a bond recommendation. They have stated on their bond recommendation 1 prior felony. Sir, are you currently on probation?
No, sir.
Okay, you're not on. Are you on parole?
No, sir.
Okay. So your last offense was 2018, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Did you successfully complete probation?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, then they have listed no assaultive history, no outstanding warrants, never failed to appear. They're asking for roughly the same conditions. They're asking for a $20,000 cash surety, 10% bond. I'm going to set your bond substantially lower than that, but make sure you follow your bond conditions because, like I said, they're already asking for a $20,000 cash surety, 10%. I'm going to set your bond at less than a quarter of what they're asking for. But like I said, if you're able to post your bond, make sure you follow the bond conditions. They're already asking for a substantially higher bond. So I know you were asking for 2,000. Generally, on a domestic violence type offense, bonds around 5,000 cash surety, 10%. I'm even going to put it a little bit lower than that for you, but it's going to be set at 4,000 cash surety, 10%. So it's $400 cash you'd have to come up with to obtain your release, or you can try and go through a surety company. Do you have any questions about that?
No, sir.
Okay, Attorney Rowe, anything further for the record?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so again, just Mr. Houston, I can't tell you, I can't express it enough. Make sure you follow the bond conditions, again, based on the prosecutor's recommendation for that higher bond out of the gate. You got to make sure you follow those regardless, but good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good day.
You too.
All right, Attorney Rowe, I think that's it.
Hey, I had a thought for you, but I don't know if you want to do that now that you've got it set up.